the new tradition of starting corrections with a comment that would make no sense to anyone who doesn't watch every episode. Seth wants to bang a train. Confirmed. Gonna move a little quickly tonight because I'm running to an event right after this with my children. And as always, my priorities are my children, then the jackals, then my wife. Because she got a little bit of jackal in her. My wife got a little bit of jackal. She did 23andMe, and it came back that she doesn't like cilantro, and she got a little bit of jackal. We didn't make a ton of mistakes this week. That's not to say it wasn't a stressful week. Monday in particular, none of the cue card guys showed up because they thought they had the day off for Diwali. You know, I got some pretty negative feedback from the suit I wore for the Taylor Swift show. One jackal stood up for me in the comments this week, and they said the suit was an improvement over what they called my thrift store look. Thrift store look. Let me just say, Eric Justian and I had a bit of a laugh over that comment. My outfits do a lot of things. Thrift is not one of them. That was a positive, you know, in the end, because it was, hey, I actually think it looked better. Here was one that was also positive, but I think it left a mark. Shoemaker. Better to look like a Roxbury guy than grayscale Ned Flanders. As a fan of both Game of Thrones and The Simpsons, that one stung. Someone said you should have named your dog Boomerang instead of Frisbee because then she would have come back. From the dead? We had a joke about a prison weight room, weight, W-E-I-G-H-T. A jackal said, oh, I heard that as prison weight, W-A-I-T room. I don't know what a prison weight room is. I mean, I know there's a prison waiting room, but juvie. The singular of paparazzi is paparazzo. Paparazzo was a character, a photographer character, a celebrity photographer character in the 1960 Fellini film La Dolce Vita. La Dolce Vita, of course, means the sweet life or the good life. I know that because it's what Shoemaker likes to yell when he's throwing batteries out his window onto the people ice skating outside 30 Rock. La Dolce Vita. Hey, last week I did my Jim Breyer. I think I have a very good Jim Breyer. A bunch of people said that sounded a little bit like Bernie Sanders. I went back and listened, and they were right. Some people went so far to say, hey, I think you should probably go back to impressions camp, and I would love to. The issue is this year they're holding it in Riyadh. And, you know, that's hard for me because on one hand, you know, I take, you know, human rights abuses very seriously. But on the other hand, I think, you know, by doing impressions, we like bring people together. Because like, when you are doing a voice of somebody, I think it actually also allows you to see the world through their eyes. You know, it's like MBS always says, what? Don't do it? But I've been working on it. No? Okay. Why? Because, oh, right, because of, yep. You know, whatever that song, you know. It's Don McLean, American Pie. I was saying Don McLean, you know, like John McClane. It's Don McLean. Don McLean sang about the day the music died. John McClane was the reason Hans Gruber died. And, you know, I was thinking, if it had been Don McLean in Die Hard instead of John McClane, it would have been a much shorter movie because Don McLean would have started singing, you know, American Pie, and then Hans Gruber would have just, you know, thrown himself out the window. All right, so somebody complained that they went to buy some Jim Breyer's ice cream, Breyer's, but then they were disappointed because it was made with goat milk, and they felt like I should have told them. But I see what happened. You went to buy Breyers and you accidentally bought Brewers. That's the one with. That's the one with goat milk. You can always know the Breyers, by the way. It's very easy because it's got Jim's head on the top of the carton. And it's the same shape, that's why. So we've talked a lot about Ben & Jerry's resistance to giving me my own ice cream. Well, a real good news, bad news situation. The good people at Ben & Jerry's saw me in my Taylor Swift outfit, and it gave them an idea, and they sent me, they were like, this is the flavor we have for you. And it's called Bite of the Roxbury. And I didn't like the flavor, but this is cool. Watch what happens when you open it up.
What is love? What is love?
This was a business card joke we had. And somebody said, you know, business cards usually have like a way to contact you on it. So I guess in the end, this was a none of your business card. We talked about somebody walking in on their wife having an affair. This is the photo. And I'd just like to write a movie about whatever his eye line is. I don't have to tell you guys my dog just died. But Holly, a jackal, sent me this. You know, it's such a wonderful piece of work, and we keep it on the couch where Frisbee used to curl up in a ball. And every morning I come downstairs and I flip on the lights and I myself. I want to give full credit, though. It's her pilgrim costume, so that's really nice. And I'm gonna send it to Sandberg. That was not the most distressing thing I got about Frisbee. Well, there's two things. I'm gonna close on the most distressing thing. This was very nice. Somebody just sent me a ticket to Bill Cosby. Thank you. All right, so my dog died. Holly did a nice thing, you know, soda or whatever, knitted, I don't know. She did something, there wasn't a stuffed Frisbee, and now there is. Whatever the process was, I tip. But I get what she wanted to do. This is all right. I don't know what this is. Release the Frisbee files. This is signed Just Brent 2009. I don't like it. All right, well, I'm off to see my kids. They're the ones who care about me. See me next week.